Before we get started, we acknowledge that UBC's Vancouver Point Grey campus is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people, and the UBC Okanagan campus is situated on the unceded territory of the Syilx people. We recognize you are all joining us today from many places near and far and acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands. So as I mentioned, our agenda for today is to talk about the Master of Data Science Capstone project and proposals, how you can benefit from partnering with our program, and then a step-by-step guide on submitting a successful capstone proposals. We'll talk about important dates and deadlines, and then some real-world examples of past successful collaborations as well. My name is Milad Meme, and I'm the Director of Program Operations and Student Management for the MDS Vancouver program. And I'll let Katie go next.
Thanks, Milad. Hi, everyone. I'm Katie. I am an assistant professor of teaching in the statistics department at UBC and a member of the academic team at the MDS Vancouver. And I've participated in a couple of capstones, both as actually a partner. Last year was my first time acting as a partner, so that was kind of fun. So I've seen both sides. So hopefully here to answer any questions that you might have about participating.
Thanks, Katie. Sonia?
Hi, everyone. My name is Sonia Tomlinson. I am a career advisor for the MDS Okanagan, but also for the Computational Linguistics in Vancouver. But I specifically manage the capstone projects for the Okanagan.
And Garrett?
Yeah, thanks, Milad. I'm Garrett Nicolai. I'm assistant professor of teaching in the linguistics department at UBC and the director of the computational linguistics program within MDS.
Great. Thanks, everyone. So what is Capstone? So first, MDS, or the Master of Data Science program, is a 10-month accelerated professional program that helps students gain technical skills and practical experience to turn data into actionable insights. So this is a very fast-paced program. And the last 2 months of the program, in May and June of each year, the students participate in Capstone. So they work in teams of 4 students with an external partner and a UBC mentor, so a mentor from our faculty team, to address a question facing the Capstone Partners organization using data science. So the capstone piece is really their practicum, their practical experience that they gain at the end of the program. It is free for partner organizations to participate in, but I guess you have to be willing to meet with the students and guide the students and supervise the students to make sure that the project proceeds according to plan. There's also some other things that you need to do. What are the benefits for you is that you get to work with 4 data scientists in training, great students that come into the program with all kinds of different backgrounds. Most of them have several years of work experience, whether it's in industry after graduation or in co-op or other experiences during the summer. They will have gone through 8 months of the program, so they'll be well versed in modern data science tools and techniques, statistical analysis, visualizations, or in R and Python as well. So another benefit for partners is that they will get to meet potential future employees and work with potential future employees. And your organization will be visible to the whole cohort as well through events and presentations. At the end of the capstone project, students will create a well-developed product relevant to your work. It could be like a Shiny app, a report, scripts, or software. And this product is actually expected to be of high quality with excellent code documentation and testing that your organization will be able to use in the future, hopefully. And also, this is an opportunity for you to develop a working relationship with the UBC and specifically the MDS program, and kickstarting research collaborations between partners and UBC as well. So how do you submit a capstone proposal? you need to fill out a short form on our website. And Vanessa, if you could share the link to our website in the chat. So there is a form that kind of guides you to the different things that you need to do. Basically, you have to give us general information about your organization, information specific to the project that you are proposing, an outline of what the problem or question is that the students will be working on, and what the data product or what the data for the project will look like. So you have to have data that you will provide to the students. And then finally, what the end product is, what the data product that the students are expected to deliver at the end of the project. So you put that all into that form and submit it to us. And then later on, I'll talk about the timelines and other things that you will need to do. Partners that we have worked with in the past is really from every industry, from government to nonprofit to education, IT, finance, etc. So the MDS Vancouver, we've been running the program for 10 years. CL has been running for 6 or 7 years, or 4 or 5 years, and Okanagan for 6 or 7 years. So we have a lot of experience. We have a lot of partners that we've worked with in the past. And as I said, those partners have come from all kinds of industries. And you can see a couple of examples here. Let me just check the chat. 6th year for CL. That's right. Thanks, Garrett. So importance, dates, and deadlines. So as you can see, our call for proposals is currently open. We opened August 1st, and we've already received a few proposals. We have the capstone info session today. That's September 12th. So this is for MDS Vancouver specific. Okanagan and CL, the next slides will talk about Okanagan and CL timelines, but they're pretty similar to the Vancouver ones, but we'll go over that as well. So on October 15th, if you submit a proposal by October 15th, somebody from our faculty team will be looking at it and give you feedback on it. So if you need to make any changes, or if the scope is too large or too small or whatever, you'll get feedback on your proposal and you'll have an opportunity to resubmit it. The final deadline is November 30th. So you can still submit proposals after October 15th, but it just means that you won't receive a lot of feedback from our faculty team if you do that. So the final deadline is November 30th, 2025. And then the next 2 weeks until December 15th, the staff will go over, the faculty members will go over all the proposals and select the ones that we want to work with, that our students will benefit from. If you're selected, then you're asked to do like a video presentation, a short 5-10 minute video, so that you can kind of present your proposal to the students. So the videos will be released to the students. So that's one way for you to kind of get exposure to the students. The second way that you get exposure to the students is on February 5th. We'll have a capstone fair. So we'll invite all our potential capstone partners to come and meet with our students at a fair, and you'll get to know our students. Students will kind of walk around your booths. You'll set up a booth, and then students will walk around and ask you more specific questions about your organization, but also your proposals. So there's two ways to kind of, those are two ways that you can kind of get exposure to our students. Then students have kind of 2 weeks, about 11 days to ponder the proposals that they read, the talks that they have had with you during the capstone fair, and the videos, watching the videos and kind of review the videos, and make a decision on which proposals they want to work with. And then by February 16th, we'll let you know if you have been selected to work with us. Then you have a few days to demonstrate that you have all the data that you said that you were going to have on your proposal. So you need to make sure that the data is ready and shareable with our students. And if that's the case, we'll also ask you to sign some legal documentation, and we can talk about legal documentation in a little bit more detail during the Q&A. And then by March 31st, students are assigned to a project. So you'll get to know your student team. And then in April, we'll have kickoff meetings and a hackathon at the end of April, and then the project will start at the during the hackathon. We can answer questions about this, but first we want to make sure that we talk about Okanagan and computational linguistics as well. So this is the timeline for Okanagan. Sonia, do you have anything you would like to add?
Sure. I won't go into obviously explanation of the details as it will be very similar to what Milad just said. Really the big difference with the Okanagan is, and it is on here, the virtual capstone fair. So because we're in the Okanagan and many of our partners are not in the Okanagan, our capstone fair is virtual. It's actually quite quick, where we invite the partner to introduce themselves, their company, and do a little pitch of their project. And then similar, the students have the opportunity to ask questions. Other than that, our dates might be just ever so slightly different, but we're looking for the same thing, that the partners are, they can declare readiness of the data. They've submitted the legal documents. Students are assigned to projects around the same timeline. The only other thing I'll add, because it is on our dates here, is the students they do a formal presentation to the rest of their classmates at the end of the project, but we also will work with the industry partner to for the students to present to you as well, and any other stakeholders.
Great. Thank you, Sonia. And then computational linguistics. Garrett?
Mostly the same stuff for us. We just I want to mention we're a bit smaller program, so we don't have the step that MDSB has with the first round of staff selection for projects. Typically, a proposal. The students will get to see most of the proposals that are submitted. We're a smaller program. We often receive fewer proposals, so we do present them all to the students as part of the capstone fair.
Great. Thanks, everyone. So maybe I'll just take a step back. So there's three programs here. So the Master of Data Science program, Vancouver, and then there is a Master of Data Science program, computational linguistics, specializing in computational linguistics, and then the Master of Data Science program in Kelowna at Okanagan. And you're free to submit proposals to all the programs. You're free to submit two proposals to one program, one proposal to another. So it's really up to you who you want to work with. Obviously, if you have a project that is really related to computational linguistics or NLP, those kind of things, then you might want to work with CL students. Otherwise, it's really up to you who you submit your proposal to. On our website that Vanessa shared, there is clear links to, for you to be able to submit a proposal to the program that you want to work with. And yes, Garrett, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just want to add that not a lot of people know what computational linguistics is. So if you don't know if your project is better suited for CL or for O or for V, you can always contact us and we'll kind of guide it into the right stream. We've also had projects that have maybe filled out the wrong form, but have said, "Oh, I meant to submit," and we can make adjustments as long as they're identified early.
That's right. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, that is it for the formal presentation piece. So right now, I would, even though you've submitted probably questions in advance, I would like to actually open it up to questions from the audience. So if you would prefer to write down your question in the chat, feel free to do so. If you would like to unmute yourself and ask the question, please raise your hand and then I will call on you. So either way would work. I am in presentation mode, so I don't know how easy I can see the hands up, but if I don't see them, somebody else can help and tell me if somebody has their hands up.
Hi, Kevin, you can go ahead. I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, we hired one of the master's students, CFAN. She's on the call and was the one that referenced this program. I work at War Room. It's a programmatic agency. We are very data driven with a lot of our business decisions. And the question I have is, if we were to propose a project based off of an industry, would we need to anonymize our client's data? Or is there a way to have it protected? And I assume that would be some of the legal documents we sign. I'm just curious about the privacy there.
Yeah, anybody want to talk about privacy and the legal documents that are attached to that?
Yeah, I can talk about that. So we have a mutual NDA that's signed between the partners and the students, and this does protect the data and the methodologies that are being used. We understand a lot of this is going to be using proprietary software, and we want to to make sure that you feel comfortable working with us. All that we ask for our students to be able to do is actually project at a high level after they've completed it. So this is really a main focus of the program for a lot of students. And when they're going to be going into job interviews, this is something that they really need to be able to talk about. But yeah, we understand the privacy needs, and we just want them to be able to say, I worked on a project that solve this problem, not necessarily going into too many details, but you're welcome to anonymize the data if you want. Depending on your own opinions about that, the NDA should cover the students having access to sensitive data.
Thanks, Garrett. Katie or Sonia, do you have anything to add, or should we move on? Yeah, just maybe the NDA. So the NDA is actually a UBC NDA. So we ask partners to sign the UBC NDA. And not to get too legalese, but we don't want students or our staff to sign the NDAs of each partner that we work with, because that becomes too much. Like we don't have a legal team that helps us out reading different NDAs and those kind of things. So we're not comfortable asking our students to sign NDAs and IP agreements that nobody has vetted for them. So that's why we have a UBC NDA and a UBC IP agreement that we will ask partners to sign.
Makes sense. Thank you.
I might just add a little bit there because there's a question here as well around who owns the IP. The partner owns the IP. So our NDA and IP agreement that we send you to sign is actually it's actually to support you. It's to protect the students. And so I will just add one little thing that we and Milad, you sort of alluded to this, but we are not in a position to make changes to these agreements. Yeah. But ultimately, they are there to support the intellectual property of the partner.
Yeah. So if you're considering submitting a proposal, make sure you reach out, if you have one, to your legal team, and ask them to review the NDAs and IP agreements that are listed on our website, so that you don't run into issues after submitting a proposal and going through the whole process, and then your legal team says, actually, we can't sign this NDA or IP agreement, or we need to make changes on and those kind of things. So make sure you involve your legal team early on in the process. Okay, I'm going to go to one of the questions in the chat. The next question is, yes, so that was answered. Are startups in early stages welcome to submit projects, or or does it have to be an incorporated company? We've worked with lots of startups. That's completely fine. Like I said before, we've worked with companies and organizations in all kinds of industries, in nonprofits, startups, companies that have been around for a long time. So yeah, if you're a startup, there is no way. Oh, Sonia already answered that. You are most welcome to submit a proposal.
Yeah, I'll just add to that, Malad.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be incorporated as a company either. We've worked with, we had a couple projects last year that were just, someone had an idea that they wanted to develop a little bit and submitted it, and it was a fun project. So yeah, we really just want projects that are working with data.
Yeah. And good learning opportunities for our students. So startups usually have very good learning opportunities for students. Um, how many projects are accepted in each program? So usually we accept almost all projects that are submitted unless there's, it's too big or too small in scope or not a great learning opportunity for our students. Um, we have 150 students at the UBC Vancouver program. And if you divide that by four, we need around 45-ish, 40 projects for Okanagan and CL. I'll leave Garrett and Sonia to talk about that.
Yeah, we have about 30 students this year, so 3 to 4 students per team. So we're going to be looking at somewhere between 8 and 10 projects this year for the MDSCL.
And we have approximately 44 students in the Okanagan program. And so, yes, as Katie and Garrett mentioned, usually 3 to 4 students is ideal. And so we'll probably be looking for about 11.
Great.
Sorry, Milad, can I just add something there?
Of course, yes.
I just want to say that because our program is on the Okanagan campus of UBC, we understand that, as I kind of mentioned earlier, most of our partners will probably not be in Kelowna and the Okanagan area, and that is absolutely fine. Our students understand that they will be generally working remotely with you, but we've worked with companies in the US and all across Canada, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. We at Vancouver and I'm sure at CL as well, we've also worked with companies that are not maybe physically in Vancouver. As long as both you and the students are comfortable working virtually, that is fine.
I will add one thing to that, in that the students do have to be here in Canada during the capstone. So if you're not in Canada and you have room and are inviting students down, we can't allow that. Things with student visas, they have to be in Canada when they're working on their capstones.
Yes, good point. Thank you. There's a question about what's the difference between V, Okanagan, and CL, and Katie already answered that, but I just wanted to add that curriculum-wise, the MDS Vancouver and the MDS Okanagan campus programs are very similar. So in terms of what students learn, is pretty much the same. For CL, obviously, the students that go through the CL program specialize in NLP and computational linguistics.
Yeah, just to add on to that, we're a linguistics department and we're in the arts faculty at UBC, but we are still very concentrated on machine learning, AI, large language models, a lot of the techniques that are processing for the most part textual data. So that's where our students really differ from the other programs.
Mhm. Yes, thank you.
I'll maybe jump in and answer Nico or try to answer Nico's question here. The first part, if I'm understanding correctly, is about the data preparation and the format. So I think that it depends from project to project. There's some things like, for example, students shouldn't be asked to collect any data themselves. There should be a data source already available. They are definitely, it's within the scope to do some pre-processing and some data wrangling, and that's something that they learn in the program. But I think the degree to which that is required varies from project to project, so that shouldn't be excessive. The capstone's only 8 weeks, so if like if 3+ weeks are required to kind of wrangle and get the data into a usable format to actually do data science on it, I would say that that's too much. So I would say that just as a rough ballpark, hopefully like the data pre-processing and wrangling shouldn't take more than about the first week or so of the project, because then the students won't really have time to get into that answering any of those actual kind of data science questions. And those are definitely things that we can answer if you send in a capstone proposal before the feedback kind of deadline. If you have more specific questions about the nature of the data that you want us to answer, then by all means let us know. And I would say like one piece of feedback that sometimes we see in those proposals is that the scope of the project is maybe a little bit too large. So sometimes if you have a big project and you want to have like a shiny app or a dashboard in addition to solving like a machine learning problem, I encourage you to submit multiple proposals. So there can be multiple projects for one company. So if your project is kind of getting the scope of it is a little large, I encourage you to like think about breaking it up into multiple projects as well.
Yeah. So as Katie said, they only have 8 weeks. The students only have a couple of months or 8 weeks to work on this project, and they also have to prepare presentations, and they're doing this as part of a course. So, um, make sure that you have when you submit a proposal, the scope is not too large, as Katie was saying. Okay. Anybody else have any questions that they would like to ask by raising their hand? I can go. Yes, Kevin. Kevin?
Yeah, it's Kevin. It's just
Kevin.
Evan with a K.
Okay.
Um, we are curious about any kind of, I guess, media opportunities afterwards. I noticed that a couple of the clients you've worked with in the past issued a press release. I don't see any of the data published, obviously, but I'm curious, is there like social media engagement opportunities? Are the students like, are they allowed to like, put their name on the project as well? Or is it strictly from the program and us, the client, that's providing the task?
No, students are. So we're doing this so that students can find jobs after, right? So if students want to take credit, if it's okay with the organization, yeah, we're happy to kind of give credit to the students. Sonia, Garrett, or Katie, anything to add to that?
Yeah, so in the CL program, one thing that we get students to do as well is as part of their wrap up for the project, is to get them to write a social media post about the project that they're working on. Of course, passing it through the partner and making sure everything is fine. But maybe Vanessa can comment as well, because I know she does highlights of several of the projects that then go out through our social media system. So maybe Vanessa, if you want to say something about that.
Sure. I was about to put in the chat. But we have promoted caps. We promote all the capstone projects pretty much just by mentioning the project name, the logo of the partners on our Instagram and our LinkedIn. We select certain projects from each program to write about, like a high level kind of blog post about it. Which the partner gets to read and make sure that everything is captured accurately, and then that gets posted on the MDS website. I will share that in the link shortly after I finish talking. And then that also gets shared on our socials, LinkedIn and Instagram and Blue Sky. So I will share our handles there so you can take a look what I've done in the past to promote the students' work.
Excellent.
I'll also add that like in the presentations and stuff, the students will communicate with the organization to know what the organization is comfortable sharing. Like if you don't want example like the raw data or anything like that popping up in the presentation, obviously concerns around that. So they'll usually run presentations by the partners in advance of doing anything public. Like Malad said, the students are usually like pretty eager to add this to their resume, maybe making like LinkedIn posts, things like that. So just having a conversation about like what they can share, what they can't share, is always nice. Like the project I ran last year was like a totally open project, so the students' names are on everything. They're like posting it all over social media and stuff, and like they can share the data and stuff. It's all open data, but that's not the case for many projects. So I think those conversations are just important to kind of know what the company wants, and also to work with the students so that they can at least like have a little bit of something on their CV.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Any other questions? Raised hands. There are some questions that were submitted online. Let me see if I can find a good one.
Milan,
Yes,
I remember one that I can answer that came
yes, of
out.
course.
Sorry for taking your head.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one question that came up was the field is moving so fast right now that like how soon do you need to solidify your project and how much flexibility is there if things change? And so I'll let Katie and Sonia speak as well on this, but for the program, we'd like to make sure that everything is in place by the time the students are selecting their projects at the capstone fair. So if you submit a proposal and then change it a little bit, you can talk to the students at the capstone fair about potential changes that you envision. Any point past that, we would want to run by the students because they sign up for a specific project. And then if the project changes after that, it's not really fair that they've picked a certain project and then it's something completely different from what they were anticipating. So there is some room for flexibility. And last year we had a project that changed into April, and the students were all on board with it. And as long as the data is still there you're still looking for a solution and everybody signs off, then it's fine. But we do want to make sure that there is some stability so students can plan how they want to go about the project and don't have things changing under their feet.
Yeah. Katie or Sonia, anything to add to that? No? Okay, great.
Sorry, Milad, I would just add that as the students start their projects, there is an understanding that this is going to be probably a hybrid approach, some waterfall, but mostly agile. So there are pivots that can happen, and that is okay as long as what Garrett is saying, it's just not a complete pivot. It's a completely different project, but some pivot is expected.
Yeah. There is questions that were submitted about can faculty members, UBC faculty members submit a proposal? Can school boards, literacy screeners, literacy coaches submit proposals? Yes. So we have worked with faculty members in the past. Katie, perfect example. We've worked with nonprofits. We've worked with government. Yeah. So as long as the project is a learning opportunity using data science for our students, we can work with that. And I think literacy coaches actually might be very interesting for computational linguistics, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do we have to pay to submit a project? No. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about this. So it's obviously you don't have to pay, but you have to have a point person. You have to submit a video. You have to submit a proposal first. You have to submit a 5-10 minute video. You have to come to the fair or attend the virtual fair to talk to our students. And if you're selected during the 2 months of the 8 weeks of the capstone project, you have to meet with the students, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but at least once a week. So that's what you have to be available to do. That's the resources that you would put towards the project, aside from the data and signing the legal documentation and those kind of things.
Yeah, I'll jump in again. So yeah, the once a week meeting thing is kind of the minimum. We have had people start up Slack channels with the students that so that things can get turned around really quickly. But really, at the minimum, we want that one meeting a week, so that students can keep the partner abreast of updates in the project and make sure that things aren't going off the rails.
And we will also provide, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but maybe stress this again. We will also a faculty member will be assigned to each student team. So if the team has any technical issues or doesn't know how to use a particular tool or data science technique, then the faculty member can help the students with that as well. So they don't necessarily have to come to the partner with those kind of issues. So um, you will provide, you can call it a mentor. We will also provide a mentor to the student team.
Sorry, Milad, I keep jumping in.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
But I'll also, if you yourself are not an expert in data science or computational linguistics or any of the or machine learning, and you just have a data problem that you're not even sure where to kind of go about, that's also why the faculty mentor is there as well, to help guide the project and help students through developing a solution.
That's a very good point. Yeah, you don't have to be a data scientist yourself to submit a project. We've worked with people in the past that have said, we've collected all this data. This is what we want to get out of it, but we don't know how to do it. So can you do it for us? So those people have also submitted projects. Just reviewing the questions again here. I think we've gone through most of them. Yeah. Any other questions that people have? All right. Maybe we can call it a day then. We didn't need the full hour. So if you have any questions that come up later, if you are submitting the project proposal and something comes up for you or something isn't clear, feel free to reach out to us. Maybe Vanessa, can you maybe share my email address? I'm happy to share my email address. And then if it's for UBC Okanagan or if it's for Garrett at CL, I can always forward the emails to the right person. So I'm happy to be the main person. Yes, Garrett.
Yeah, I have so much energy. I just want to answer everything.
No, go ahead.
I'll add something else as well. We do like when Capstone partners hire students after the program, but that's not an expectation at all. These capstone projects are meant as a learning experience for the students and to work on a real world project with real world data. So don't feel like if you have to submit a project only if you're hiring. We tell students not to expect to be hired by capstone partners and not to pick projects on the basis that a company is hiring. So like I said, it's a nice bonus if it happens, but it's not an expectation in the slightest.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, Sonia or Katie, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to add? Anything that we maybe need to discuss that we haven't?
No, I think you guys covered everything. Yeah, looking forward to reading some of your proposals, and it's a really fun experience. So I hope you all consider submitting.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We really appreciate it. And our partnership with our employer community and our industry partners and our employers are really, really important to us. So, like Katie said, I'm also looking forward to working with all of you. Thanks, everyone.